Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing one card in two ways, and I'm featuring some brand new products from the Spring 2023 catalog from Hero Arts. Here's a kind of look at the products that I'll be using, and I love that Hero Arts still does a printed catalog. There's nothing like flipping through a catalog, looking at all the products, dreaming, maybe circling the things that are on your wish list. But I also love that there's lots of inspiration in this catalog as well. So I am starting out with the Beautiful Butterflies bundle, and I decided that these would be absolutely gorgeous heat embossed on some vellum. So I'm putting some vellum into my Misty stamping tool, and I'm going to arrange several of these butterflies onto the vellum. Now I am going to be heat embossing these, and I'm going to be using a black pigment ink along with a clear embossing powder. And that's a great way to get a really crisp and clean black heat embossed image without worrying about using black embossing powder that can kind of go everywhere. But when you are heat embossing on vellum, it's really important that you prep the surface with a powder tool like I'm doing here. And then I can go ahead and ink up my stamps. I am using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne pigment ink. It is a gorgeous crisp black pigment ink. You could also use a hybrid ink, and I'm stamping that onto my vellum, and then I'm going to remove the vellum from the Misty stamping tool and cover this in some clear embossing powder. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and heat set the embossing powder, and I wanted to take a minute because right after I filmed this video, I saw a thumbnail for a video on the Hero Arts channel, and I thought, oh my goodness, that card looks so much like the one I just created. It was not copied in any way. Apparently, Shannon and I were just very inspired to create some rainbow butterflies. So I just wanted to straighten that out. Now I've gone ahead and flipped this over to the back side of the vellum, and I'm using some mini ink blending brushes and the Hero Hues reactive inks in some various colors to create some blends on these rainbows. And my idea was to have these ink blended rainbow butterflies kind of sprinkling up to the top of the card. So I've mixed the taffy and the yellow color together, which is called Lemon Drop. And where those colors overlap, they create a beautiful orange color. And then I'm blending with key lime and the lemon drop to kind of create a blend there. Here I'm using Pool Party, and I'm going to move into Berry Smoothie. And then I created another butterfly that blended the Berry Smoothie and the taffy color, which is that pink color, together. So I'm doing all of this on the back side of the vellum, which means when I flip this over, the colors are going to be a little more soft than what you're seeing here. If you wanted to do this on the front side of the vellum, you definitely could, because the embossing powder will resist the ink. Now, because this is kind of a hybrid ink, I wanted to be careful with how much ink I was adding over the embossing powder. Sometimes a hybrid ink can add just a little bit of tint to the embossing powder. I guess because I'm using a black heat embossed image here, it probably wouldn't matter. But you can see those colors kind of soften when I flip this over. Now, to make sure I don't have a ton of ink transfer, I just blotted the back of this with my microfiber towel, and then I heat set that ink onto the vellum to make sure that all of this ink was really nice and dry on the vellum. Then I grabbed an alcohol ink marker, and I'm just filling in the bodies of the butterfly, and I did that on the front side. And now I can take the coordinating dies for these beautiful butterflies and run them through my Anna Griffin impress machine to die cut all of these images. Now I'm walking you through the black heat emboss version here, and the second card that I create is going to use the exact same colors, the exact same techniques, the exact same stamps, but I am going to change up the embossing to a white embossing powder. And I cannot believe the difference it makes. So this one is going to give me lots of contrast. The next one's going to be a little bit softer look. So you can let me know in the comments below which of the two looks is your favorite. Now I did add a little bit of text stamping onto this card panel. This is an A2 size card panel. I stamped that in a soft gray ink using the brand new Texture Strips stamps. That's hard for me to say for whatever reason. And I stamped that on there. And then I'm going to use this brand new Burlap Bold Prints background stamp. I'm inking it up in some VersaMark ink and stamping that right over the top. Now you can see that I added kind of a rough edge to this burlap print. I just didn't add ink over the entire thing. And then I dabbed that edge with my microfiber cloth to kind of rough it up a little bit more. And then I added some clear embossing powder and heat set that. And that's just going to give me some kind of layered texture on my card front. Now for my sentiment, I'm using the brand new Friendly Messages bundle. This includes some great sentiments as well as some coordinating dies. And I've gone ahead and stamped that in the black pigment ink that I used earlier, coated that with some clear embossing powder, and then heat set that and die cut it with the coordinating die. Now for these butterflies, you can see I've kind of arranged them in a rainbow order. I have that purple to pink, and then the pink to yellow, the yellow to the green, and then the blue to the purple. So I'm going in a rainbow order. And before I adhere these onto my card front, I'm actually kind of bending the wings up, and I'm adding just a little bit of foam adhesive behind the body of these butterflies. And that's going to give these butterflies the feeling that they're flying right off of the card front. It is so beautiful. And there's nothing like a butterfly on vellum. I think it's just so ethereal. So I've gone ahead and attached my sentiment there with some foam adhesive. I've added a tiny strip of gold along the left side of my card front, and then I added this to an A2 size top folding card base using some foam adhesive. And then I'm going to finish it off with just a few sparkling clear sequins, and I'm using my Hero Arts reverse grip or cross lock tweezers to help me assist in putting those on. I did add a little bit of shimmer to the butterflies as well using a shimmer pin, and that finishes off my first card. So one card, two ways. I'm going to do everything the same, but I'm going to change up the embossing, and you're going to see how this really changes the card. And the thing I love, I think, about the white embossing powder is the softness. But the thing I love about the black embossing powder is that sharp contrast that you get. So this really does change up the feel of the card completely. Now, the other thing I really love about this card in both instances is that there's a lot of layered texture on that card front. So you have the heat embossed burlap pattern, you have that text pattern at the bottom, and it's all just coming together. And then you have those beautiful butterflies kind of floating off the card front. So I went ahead and had left my stamps in my Misty stamping tool. I prepped the surface of my vellum once again with my powder tool. I stamped the butterflies this time in some VersaMark ink onto my vellum, and then I added some white embossing powder and heat set that. Now I ink blended them in the same way. Like I said, I did everything else the exact same except for I turned my sentiment up on its side on the second card, and you can see the beautiful softness that you get with this. It is so different, and I changed just one thing, and that just kind of blows my mind when I look at these together, how different one card can be by changing up just one thing. So there you have it. That's my one card, two ways, featuring some brand new products from the Hero Arts Spring 2023 catalog. I think you're going to love this. I hope you'll check it out. And I hope you'll head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, because over there you're going to find a blog hop where we're celebrating this fabulous new catalog from Hero Arts, and you can enter to win prizes. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in this video in the YouTube description below. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. And don't forget to visit me over at my blog. Leave a comment below and let me know which of these two cards is your favorite. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. And if you loved this video, I would love it if you would share it with a friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.